There are moments when life feels strangely heavy. Money disappears as if it never existed. Health weakens without explanation, and opportunities seem to dissolve right before reaching your hands. Many people blame bad luck, hard times, or even themselves. But what if the real cause is something you never suspected? Imagine this. Within the walls of your home, silent objects sit quietly, holding memories, vibrations, and invisible chains. A broken mirror that reflects nothing but distortion. A forgotten trinket gifted by someone who wished you no good. A dying plant absorbing life instead of radiating it. These aren't just things. They're carriers of energy. And energy, whether you believe it or not, always leaves its mark. Ancient traditions have long whispered about this hidden truth. In Buddhist teachings, clutter and stagnant objects are said to block the flow of qi, the life force that sustains health, wealth, and harmony. In modern psychology, environments filled with unresolved reminders create stress, drain focus, and trigger cycles of loss and fatigue. Two worlds, ancient and modern, pointing to one revelation. Your home is not neutral. It either nurtures you or it consumes you. Today, we will uncover 7 mysterious objects that may be quietly stealing your fortune, health, and even your happiness. At first glance, they appear harmless, everyday items anyone might keep without thought. But when you understand the hidden energies they carry, you'll see why so many people feel trapped in repeating misfortune despite working endlessly to improve their lives. The secret is simple yet profound. Change begins not only with your actions, but with your surroundings. To shift your destiny, you don't always need to fight harder or chase more. Sometimes you only need to remove what weighs you down. Clearing these 7 objects is more than housework. It is a ritual, a signal to the universe and to your subconscious that you are ready for renewal, for freedom, for abundance. So, as you listen closely, ask yourself one question. What is lurking inside your home that may be shaping your fate? By the end of this journey, you may realize that the doorway to wealth, health, and transformation opens not in the outside world, but in the simple act of letting go. Your surroundings are never passive. Every object, every corner of your home carries an imprint that quietly interacts with your mind, body, and destiny. Science itself confirms this. The environment you live in influences mood, focus, sleep, and overall energy levels. A misplaced object, a broken chair, or a cluttered shelf may seem trivial, but in reality, they create constant micro-stress signals for your brain. You may not consciously notice them, but your subconscious registers chaos, imbalance, and decay. Over time, this silent tension translates into reduced concentration, poor decision-making, weakened health, and even financial loss. From the perspective of psychology, we know that cluttered spaces trigger anxiety and decision fatigue. A broken item in your home is not just broken. It becomes a reminder of neglect, of something unresolved. Your nervous system absorbs that message daily, shaping your emotional state without you realizing it. And when your mind is restless, your choices often lead to wasted opportunities, unnecessary spending, or unhealthy habits. But long before science, ancient philosophies had already taught us this hidden truth. In Buddhism and many Eastern traditions, every object is believed to hold energy. Keeping what is damaged, unclean, or no longer aligned with your life is like clinging to old suffering and unresolved karma. You may think you are simply holding on to a cracked vase, an unused gift, or worn-out clothing. But energetically, you are keeping fragments of the past that no longer serve you. This principle can be summed up simply. Negative matter equals negative energy equals negative actions equals negative results. What surrounds you shapes what flows through you. A stagnant environment fosters stagnant energy, and stagnant energy breeds stagnation in life. It becomes a cycle. Clutter leads to stress, stress leads to poor outcomes reinforce a life of struggle. The good news, Just as harmful objects can anchor you to poverty and illness, removing them can unlock new possibilities. By clearing away what is broken, outdated, or toxic, you signal to your subconscious and to the universe that you are ready for renewal, for freedom, for abundance. When your environment shifts, your energy shifts. And when your energy shifts, your destiny begins to realign.
1. A dead clock, the symbol of stagnant time. At first glance, a clock that no longer ticks may seem harmless, just another object left behind, waiting to be fixed or forgotten. Yet its silent stillness carries a far deeper message than most people realize. Every time your eyes fall upon a clock frozen in place, your subconscious records the image of time standing still. Psychology tells us that repeated exposure to certain symbols can condition the mind, shaping our beliefs and emotions without us being fully aware of it. A dead clock becomes a daily reminder of stagnation, of something unresolved, of movement that has stopped. Scientific studies in environmental psychology show that what we see around us directly influences our mental state. A working clock brings rhythm, structure, and a sense of forward motion. In contrast, a broken clock unconsciously whispers the opposite: delays, obstacles, and energy locked in limbo. Even if you dismiss it as mere coincidence, your brain quietly absorbs this symbolism every single day, and over time, it may erode motivation, productivity, and hope. This is why spiritual traditions echo this understanding with striking clarity. Across cultures, time is viewed as one of the most sacred dimensions of life. In Buddhist thought, the flow of time is a constant reminder of impermanence, that all things rise and fall, appear and vanish. A clock that has stopped disrupts this natural rhythm. It becomes more than a piece of broken machinery. It is an omen that growth, opportunities, and blessings may also become frozen. In the language of symbolism, a dead clock represents missed chances, halted progress, and a life where nothing new enters. This is why spiritual practitioners warn against keeping broken clocks, especially in places of importance, such as the main entrance or the bedroom. The entrance is your gateway of energy, the first point where prosperity and vitality flow into your life. To greet that flow with a symbol of stillness is to block the very energy you are hoping to attract. Likewise, in the bedroom, the sanctuary of rest and renewal, a stopped clock may anchor you to fatigue, insomnia, or the sense of being trapped in a cycle of repetition. The remedy is simple yet powerful. Repair it immediately or let it go. If the clock can be fixed, give it life again and restore the rhythm of time in your home. If it cannot be fixed, release it with gratitude for the service it once gave you and create space for something new to enter. By taking this seemingly small action, you are sending a strong signal to both your subconscious mind and the universe. I choose movement, growth, and opportunity over stagnation. The hands of the clock are not just measuring time, they are reflecting the flow of your destiny. Let them move, and your life will move with them. 2. Stagnant water jars, the invisible source of illness. There is one thing that many of us overlook, yet it silently becomes the root of illness, exhaustion, and even financial struggles. That hidden culprit is stagnant water inside the home. At first glance, it may seem harmless, just a forgotten glass of water, a vase with wilted flowers, or a fishbowl where the water hasn't been changed for weeks. But in truth, these small containers can turn into invisible breeding grounds for misfortune. From a scientific perspective, stagnant water is the perfect environment for mosquitoes, bacteria, and mold to thrive. It invites sickness into your home, ranging from allergies and infections to more serious diseases. Health experts constantly remind us that eliminating standing water is essential, because even a single jar left untouched can put the well-being of the whole household at risk. But the danger does not stop with physical health.
In the realm of spirituality and Eastern philosophy, stagnant water carries a much deeper meaning. It is a symbol of blockage, of energy that no longer flows. When water is trapped and motionless, life force itself becomes trapped. The home falls into a state of stagnation, opportunities are blocked, prosperity fades, and shadows of misfortune creep in. To keep stagnant water in your home, in the eyes of the ancients, is to hold on to suffering and decay. Think about it. A river is alive only when it flows. When water stops moving, it slowly turns foul, attracting rot and death instead of nurturing life. The same happens to the energy within your living space. If it is allowed to grow stagnant, your body weakens, your mind feels heavy, and the path to abundance seems forever blocked. The solution, however, is simple. Remove the old water, clean the container, and replace it with fresh, flowing water. If you love to keep plants, choose aquatic ones, but make sure to refresh their water regularly so that they remain vibrant and healthy. Fresh water doesn't just nourish plants, it nourishes the very energy of your home, inviting clarity, vitality, and prosperity to flow again. Remember this: clear, moving water is the essence of life. Stagnant water, no matter how small, is a warning sign of decline. By taking the simple step of clearing it away, you are not just cleaning your home, you are unblocking the flow of energy that shapes your destiny.
3. Fake plastic plants. Among the many objects that shape the energy of a home, plants hold a special place. They are living beings, quietly breathing with us, cleansing the air and bringing balance to the space where we rest and dream. But what happens when the plants in your house are not alive at all, but mere imitations made of plastic and fabric? At first glance, fake plants may seem like an easy solution. They look green, they never wither, and they require no care. Yet behind that surface convenience lies a hidden truth. These objects carry no life force, no breath, no vitality. Real plants take in carbon dioxide, release oxygen, and subtly harmonize the atmosphere around them. They are natural purifiers, silent guardians of balance. Fake plants, in contrast, do nothing but collect dust. Over time, that dust becomes heavy, dull, and suffocating, making the air feel stagnant, the room less vibrant, and your own energy quietly drained. From the perspective of feng shui and ancient wisdom, this difference becomes even striking. A real plant is a channel of living qi, constantly cycling energy between earth, air, and spirit. A fake plant, however, is only a shadow, an illusion of life without essence. Its presence symbolizes artificial energy, a facade that looks appealing on the outside but offers nothing within. To surround yourself with such lifeless symbols is to invite emptiness into your home. Relationships that look beautiful but lack warmth. Goals that appear promising but never bear fruit. Wealth that slips away like an illusion. Consider what happens when a visitor steps into a room filled with plastic greenery. At first, they may be deceived by the color, but soon the truth reveals itself. Everything feels still, unchanging, almost too perfect. There is no pulse of life, no freshness, no flow. That subtle lack of vitality can unconsciously weigh on the mind, leaving one uninspired, fatigued, and disconnected. The remedy is simple yet transformative. Replace lifeless decor with living energy. You do not need exotic plants or complicated care routines. Even humble companions, such as the snake plant, the golden pothos, or aloe vera, can purify the air and radiate resilience. They require little attention, yet their presence fills a room with authenticity, health, and renewal. Remember, your surroundings mirror your spirit. To keep fake plants is to keep beauty without soul. To nurture real plants is to invite growth, healing, and abundance into your life.
One choice drains, the other breathes. Which will you choose? 4. Torn or faded photos. Among the most sacred objects in any home are the photographs we keep. They are not just pieces of paper or digital images, they are vessels of memory, emotion, and family energy. A single picture can carry laughter from a wedding day, the innocence of a child's smile, or the warm embrace of generations gathered together. Yet what happens when those photos become torn, faded, or damaged? To the unconscious mind, a damaged photograph sends a message more powerful than words. A ripped family picture whispers of separation, conflict, and loss. A blurred or faded image signals fading connections, forgotten love, and memories slipping into silence. Even if you consciously ignore the damage, your subconscious records it every time you glance at the picture. Without realizing it, you may begin to internalize that sense of brokenness, carrying it into your relationships, your trust, and even your financial stability. Spiritual traditions across cultures speak of photographs as extensions of the soul. In feng shui and Buddhist-influenced thought, the image of a family represents the energetic bond that ties members together. A torn image, therefore, becomes a fractured mirror of harmony, symbolizing disunity in the household. It is said that such damaged symbols can disturb the flow of prosperity, making peace elusive and abundance harder to hold. After all, how can wealth and harmony flow where the heart of the home is cracked? Picture this. You walk into your living room, and on the wall hangs a faded family portrait. The colors are drained, the smiles barely visible, and the once vibrant memory now looks like a ghost of itself. Without words, the image radiates a subtle heaviness, a reminder of what is lost rather than what is alive. This is not just nostalgia, it is stagnant energy that reinforces the belief that the best days are behind you. The solution is both practical and symbolic. Restore or renew. If the photo is precious, have it digitally restored or framed in a way that gives it new life. If it is beyond repair, honor it by replacing it with a fresh, vibrant image that captures joy, unity, and light. By doing so, you are not just decorating a wall, you are affirming continuity, resilience, and renewal in your family's story. Remember, the images we surround ourselves with shape the reality we live in. A torn photo anchors you to wounds. A restored or new one opens the door to healing and growth. Choose carefully, for every picture is a silent altar whispering its truth into your home every day.
5. Old, lumpy salt. When the amulet loses its effectiveness. Salt has always been more than just a seasoning on the dining table. Across civilizations, it has been revered as a symbol of purity, protection, and balance. In many spiritual traditions, salt is believed to ward off evil, neutralize negative energy, and create an invisible shield around the home. This is why, for centuries, people placed small bowls of salt in corners of their houses, near doorways, or even carried it in pouches as a charm against misfortune. But what happens when salt itself grows old, damp, or clumped into hard lumps? Instead of being a source of cleansing, it begins to turn into a stagnant magnet for what it once repelled. Scientifically, salt naturally absorbs moisture and bacteria from the environment. Over time, it gathers dust, mold, and even toxins. Spiritually, this transformation symbolizes protection that has weakened, like a shield cracked by time. What was once your silent guardian has now become a silent carrier of decay. Imagine walking past a bowl of salt at your front door, only to notice it is yellowed, hardened, and lifeless. To the conscious mind, it might seem trivial, just a bit of old salt. But to your subconscious, it is a signal. Your protection is failing. Your defenses are worn down. The home begins to feel heavier. Opportunities stall,
and a subtle sense of vulnerability creeps in. This is not coincidence, it is energy speaking through matter. In Buddhist symbolism and many Asian rituals, salt is tied directly to the act of purification. It is scattered to dissolve negativity, used in cleansing baths to remove karmic residue, and kept in sacred spaces to stabilize energy. But the law of energy is clear. Nothing lasts forever. Just as stagnant water breeds disease, stagnant salt loses its sacred power. Old, clumped salt does not purify, it imprisons. The remedy is simple yet profound: renewal. Replace the salt in your home every month, or even more often if you feel heaviness lingering. Use clean, fresh grains and place them in small bowls at entryways, windowsills, or hidden corners. As you do, set an intention, silently asking the salt to absorb what no longer serves you. This is more than a routine. It is a ritual of rebirth for your space. Remember, salt is a living symbol. Treat it with reverence. Keep it fresh, and it will serve as your invisible guardian, restoring purity, balance, and peace within your home. 6. Uncleansed keepsakes of the departed, anchors of sorrow. Among the most delicate objects in any home are the belongings of those who have passed away. A watch, a favorite shirt, a book still carrying the faint scent of its owner. These items hold the weight of memory and love. But when such keepsakes are left untouched, unpurified, or simply hidden away in corners, they often become more than just reminders. They turn into anchors that tether the living to grief, sorrow, and stagnation. Psychologically, every time your eyes fall upon these objects, the subconscious recalls the pain of loss. Instead of celebrating the love you once shared, you relive the absence. That constant repetition silently erodes your vitality, weakening not only your emotional balance, but even your physical strength. The heart grows heavy, and the body follows. In the wisdom of Buddhism, this is the essence of dukkha, suffering born from attachment. All things are impermanent. To cling is to deny the flow of life. When we keep the belongings of the deceased without purification or ritual, we resist the truth of impermanence. The energy of sorrow lingers, blocking the current of joy and renewal. This is not to say we must discard everything that connects us to those we love. On the contrary, remembrance can be sacred. But remembrance without cleansing is like holding on to stagnant water. It nourishes nothing and eventually poisons the vessel. The remedy lies in ritual. Create a moment of reverence. Light a candle, place the keepsake before you, and speak words of gratitude to the one who has departed. Acknowledge the bond, honor their journey, and then release. You may choose to store the object respectfully in a dedicated space, pass it on to someone who will cherish it, or let it go entirely. The act is less about the item and more about the energy you choose to free. When you release with intention, you allow both yourself and the departed to move on in peace. You open space for new light, new blessings, and new vitality to enter your life. In doing so, you transform mourning into remembrance, grief into gratitude, and loss into freedom. Remember, love does not live in objects. It lives in the heart. By setting the keepsake free, you do not lose them. You carry them more lightly, and you allow life to flow once again.
7. Piles of debt papers and bills in the bedroom. The energy of poverty. There is one silent intruder that creeps into more homes than people realize. Stacks of debt papers and unpaid bills left lying in the bedroom. At first glance, they seem like nothing more than sheets of paper, but the energy they carry is far heavier than ink and numbers. When debt enters the sacred space where you rest, it doesn't just sit quietly. It breathes anxiety into the air. Every night, when your eyes fall upon those envelopes or folded sheets on the nightstand, the subconscious takes note. Even if you try to ignore them, Your inner world whispers, you owe, you lack, you are not free. Slowly, this constant reminder eats away at peace of mind. Sleep becomes shallow, the body tenses, and stress hormones surge. Over time, worry manifests in the physical form: headaches, insomnia, fatigue, even weakened immunity. Symbolically, debt represents energy that flows outward without return. To place it in the bedroom, the temple of rest, intimacy, and renewal, is to invite that outflow into the very core of your being. Instead of restoring strength while you sleep, you lie in an energetic battlefield where rest is stolen and abundance is drained away. In spiritual traditions, the bedroom is seen as a sanctuary of healing. To pollute it with symbols of burden is like planting thorns in your own bed. The result? Restlessness, financial blockages, and a perpetual sense of scarcity. The remedy is surprisingly simple, yet profoundly effective. Remove all bills, overdue notices, and debt-related documents from your bedroom immediately. Do not let the energy of obligation contaminate the energy of rest. Designate a specific folder or box, stored in your office, study, or another room dedicated to decision-making. When financial matters stay where they belong, your bedroom is restored to its sacred role, a place of peace, love, and renewal. And here is the deeper truth. Clearing these papers from your sleeping space is not about avoiding responsibility. On the contrary, it empowers you to face obligations with clarity, without letting them poison the moments meant for healing. By separating rest from debt, you protect your vitality and create the mental strength needed to attract solutions, opportunities, and prosperity. Remember this: abundance begins where anxiety ends. Free your bedroom from the shadow of bills, and you free your spirit to dream, not of what is owed, but of what is possible. Cleansing your home is not just about sweeping dust or throwing things away. It is an energetic ritual, a conversation with the unseen forces that shape your life. When done with awareness, it can break old cycles, dissolve stagnant energy, and open the door for health, peace, and prosperity to flow in. Here is how you can perform a powerful yet simple ritual of release and renewal. Step 1. Preparation. Before beginning, gather a trash bag for the items you will remove, a clean cloth to wipe surfaces, and a small bowl of fresh sea salt. These are not ordinary tools. They represent the intention to clear, to refresh, and to protect. Step 2. Set the atmosphere. Open the windows to allow the old, heavy energy to escape. Let fresh air and natural light rush in, carrying renewal. Play soft, instrumental music, mantras, or simply light a candle. The sound and light shift your vibration, reminding your subconscious that this is not just cleaning, it is a sacred act. Step 3. The removal. Move slowly through your home, one corner at a time. As you go, remove the 7 harmful objects we discussed earlier: dead clocks, stagnant water, lifeless plastic plants, torn photographs, hardened salt, unpurified relics of the departed, and stacks of dead papers. Place them carefully into the trash bag or a separate space for disposal. Feel the energy of your home becoming lighter with each item that leaves. Step 4. Speak your intention. As you clean, whisper to yourself, I release the old. I welcome health, peace, and prosperity into my life. Say it as if the walls themselves are listening, because they are. Every repetition strengthens the vibration, programming your mind and environment with renewal. Step 5. Seal the ritual. When you have finished, wash your hands in a bowl of salt water. Feel the coolness cleansing not just your skin, but also your spirit. Imagine any residue of negativity dissolving and flowing away. Stand in the center of your home, close your eyes, and breathe deeply 3 times. Then smile, not just with your lips, but with your heart. This ritual is simple, yet its power lies in intention. You are not merely cleaning, you are rewriting the energy of your life. And as your home shifts, so too does your destiny. These 7 objects may look harmless, even ordinary, But in silence, they weave an invisible net around your life, draining your health, clouding your mind, and blocking the flow of prosperity. They sit quietly in your home, yet every day they pull away a little more of your strength, a little more of your joy, and a little more of your fortune. Think of your home as a sacred temple. Whatever you allow to remain inside becomes part of your energy, part of your destiny. If you keep decay, clutter, or reminders of sorrow, your spirit will always feel heavy, your steps uncertain, and your path clouded. But once you remove them, even a single item, you will notice the difference. Your breath becomes lighter, sleep more peaceful, and opportunities begin to arrive in ways you never expected. Do not underestimate the power of this act. Clearing away these 7 things is not just cleaning, it is an ancient ritual of release, a way of telling the universe, I am ready to let go of the old, I am ready to welcome the new. And when you make this declaration through action, life always responds. Now I ask you, which of these objects are still lingering in your home? Which of them have been stealing your energy without you even realizing? Share your experiences in the comments so together we can learn, heal, and rise stronger. Remember this truth: a small decision made today, even as simple as throwing away an old object, can open the door to great changes tomorrow. Do not wait. Begin now. Your future is already waiting for you, just on the other side of this choice.